Hey guys, thanks for coming back to my channel. Today we're going to watch a video about the 5 characteristics of a high-valued man. So I've heard the different characteristics of a high-valued man from, men and what they say is considered a high-valued man. And I'm really curious what it is from a woman.
Say that I'm actually going to stop using this phrase high value moving forward. I'm honestly not.
You know what? I would agree with her. I think that phrase is so overused now. We're all like, I'm a high-valued man. I'm on Reddit in the Tinder Reddit sub. You see people post profiles, of different Tinder people they come across. And there's a bunch of guys who post on there and they're like, I'm a high-valued man. I make $100K a year. And if you don't like blah, 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 move on. It just sounds so douchey when somebody says it. I kind of feel like if you are a high-valued man, you don't need to run around and say it. It's just like being an alpha guy compared to a beta guy. You don't need to run around and be like, I'm an alpha guy. Like it's just so cliche and dumb. Like it just sounds douchey.
Not sure where it came from, but I keep hearing it and I just don't understand what the heck this means and where this term even came from. Anyway, I digress. So these aren't going to be physical because y'all can follow your gym guys to learn about fitness, but I want to talk about what makes a man highly attractive to an emotionally healthy woman. What does that look like? How does it present? So number one, have you worked through your past relationships and past traumas, and have you healed from them? Now, do I believe that we are 100% healed when we come into relationships? Not really. There's always going to be something. Stuff that needs to be negotiated, our needs, and we might be kind of scared. We're just getting our feet wet. In the beginning of a relationship, there's always going to be a little trepidation. But for the most part, someone who is a healthy, attractive male, he doesn't hate women. He's forgiven his past girlfriends. He's walking into a new relationship with hope and positivity. I don't know, he just has a certain outlook about life that the past is behind him and the best is yet to come. So number two, I like to call this the gentle giant effect. Most women like to feel protected when they're with a man, right? When you're in a relationship, they want to feel a sense of safety. But my brothers, who are very tall, very big men, right? They're gentle giants. When you see them with a baby, oh my God, melt your heart. Women don't really like aggressive men.
Women love guys with kids. If they see you holding a kid, it like speaks to their ovaries or something, man. I don't know, but I know what she's talking about. You know what? If you have like a sibling or somebody who has a kid, you should borrow a kid. Borrow a kid and go to go somewhere with their kid and meet women. Actually, why wouldn't they just assume that you're a single father then, or a father? I don't know. It's so weird. Why? You have to be very clear. This is my nephew. This is my niece, or whatever.
Assertive, okay, right? You speak to us that betrays your boundaries. That's fine. But one of the biggest things I actually find in my coaching practice is that men tend to talk to women like this, they speak to other men. And boy, does that not work.
Yeah, because we're men and we communicate in a certain way, just like how women communicate to men. And the story just goes, and you're just like, I don't know what's happening right now. It's all over the place. You said something for 10 minutes, which could have been said in 30 seconds. Hello? It's the same thing. We all do this, so it's not one-sided. We do this.
Women are very gentle creatures, and some of us are a little bit more tougher than others, but feminine women who have worked really hard at becoming feminine, for the most part, are very soft. And a man has the ability to show up in the relationship as a gentle giant, which means that he can wreck somebody and tear somebody to shreds when there's danger. But he's also very kind and sweet and loving and very soft with her. So number three, he gives back to others and mentors other men. There's something very sexy.
This actually crosses over with Kevin Samuels, right? Where he said you have a network working with other high-valued men or mentoring men.
About seeing a man with his little brother or a male teacher. This is what I like to call the Jordan Peterson effect. It signals something in our little female animal brain, and what it says is, oh, he's intelligent and smart enough to teach little Tommy some math. We're gonna have smart kids. I'm just saying like it is. I've worked with over 200 people who are recovering addicts, and just a little aside, The first thing that all addicts know is that you have to sponsor someone in program. It's part of our daily amends and it's part of our recovery. Now, not everyone does it, but when you have something higher to serve other than yourself, whether that's your kids, a YouTube channel, a group of people that rely on you, such as if you're a coach, it changes your life and it gives you a sense of purpose. So I really recommend to anyone that is depressed or lonely or stuck sitting in their house, go volunteer.
Sponsoring you guys. I'm doing this for you by sharing this information. So we're all benefiting, really, and having you guys grow and learn and watch these things. I think we're just all doing it together, and I love the community aspect. I love to see the same people commenting on my videos. I'm like, oh, they watched this one, then they watched that one, then they watched this one. It's really cool. It's really fun. It makes me feel like we're part of a community, and I really appreciate that.
Will help you really get out of depression. And for men, they need purpose. So go mentor other men. Number 4, a man who's secure and knows exactly who he is. Now, I've talked about this book a lot on my channel, and I can't talk about it enough. No More Mr. Nice Guy. I recommend it to pretty much all of my coaching clients. I've read it 4 or 5 times myself because it really speaks to the root of what makes a man insecure versus secure. And a lot of this was learned when we were young from subliminal messages that we received as children. And when we don't have a secure home or we were bullied, we tend to become more insecure because that child becomes hyper vigilant of his or her parents or his surroundings. And if their response was intermittent or their love was intermittent, you learn to say and do things that will appease them. It's called an intermittent reward system. And a lot of guys turn into people pleasers with this. You bring this with you into adulthood, and that's really the true deep cause of your insecurity. But there is a fix. It just takes a lot of work and a lot of esteeming yourself through internal validation versus external validation. Now, if she is a healthy woman, she's going to pick up on this. Honestly, I can tell within a few short minutes of meeting a man if this is something that he's healed in or he's not. I'm going to do a lot of videos on how to work through this because I think it's so important. So number 6, last is his drive and zest for life. Now, this is one thing that I really truly agree with on the manosphere is that women are drawn to a man who has drive. Now, this means that she might not be able to get a hold of you during the day because you're in meetings, but if she was in the hospital, you would drop everything that you were doing to go be with her. It's a fine balance, right? She wants to know that you're doing your thing, you're on your purpose, but if her life were in danger, you'd pretty much be there. Ignoring a woman and just pretending that she only exists on the weekends or when you want to get laid is not really going to work with a healthy woman. But, I hope you guys have heard this a couple of times, so you shouldn't be surprised. Follow your passions and a woman will follow you. So once again, this will be the last time that you hear that phrase. Once again, moving forward, as a creator and a coach, we grow and we learn and we become more aware of the language that we use every day. And for me, it's very important that I stand by what I believe in. So regardless of what's trendy or popular, I want you to remember, no one determines your worth or your value. You are valuable because you exist. Using this language is actually really toxic to men because once again, they are measured against these things such as wealth and cars and status and all of these made-up ideals that our society says are high value, especially in America. You work on yourself, become the best version of you, and you will attract someone that's a reflection of what you put out into the world.
I thought it was good to hear from a woman's perspective. And right away off the bat to me, there was pretty much there was some overlap with the Kevin Samuels stuff, but in general it was different, right? There was the overlap of, hey, we want a man who's giving his or teaching other men, his mentoring role, and that's something that Kev Samuels talked about. And then the last one where she mentioned that if you have purpose, having purpose and drive is a big one. And I think that's also something in Kev Samuels' area. But the other ones were kind of more like specific to women, like they want to feel like you're secure, like you've dealt with previous issues, that you're protective, but you're a gentle giant, like these types of things. And I thought that was interesting because you don't really hear that when you talk to other men, right? We don't come from that perspective. But it is kind of true, like women want you to walk on the edge of the street, right? When you're walking on the sidewalk, they want you to walk closest to the road, and they want them on the inside. They want you to open the door for them, but they might not actually be, like, they might just do it. But like generally the woman wants you to be protective of them and have that sort of masculine persona, but in a nice way, because like she said, the gentle giant way, because they are women and they're a little more feminine. They don't want to feel like you're overbearing them or like you're going to crush them or something like that. She makes a good point that men need to learn how to communicate with women. And I mean, I'll place myself in that bucket. I try to communicate with them in a certain way, and maybe I don't always succeed. And sometimes I get frustrated with all the pussyfooting we have to do. If you learn how to do that, then probably things would go smoother, right? For guys, if you learn how to communicate with women the way that a woman would want to be communicated to, rather than just speaking like a guy and being very direct. Okay, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I think I learned something there, the interesting perspective. Hopefully you did too, and we will see you again on the next one.